both sides of the conversation, family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Thursday. So you know what that means. Every Thursday we have our Educational Thursday presentation. We have a bunch of phenomenal folks to come on and do digital presentations for our community. And tonight we have two phenomenal folks coming on who's been here before to teach financial literacy, as we all have been talking about this year. In 2022, we're bringing all things new in. We're going to continue to talk about health and wealth. And we're going to continue those health conversations as well as our financial literacy to empower our communities. So just excited to have our guests come back tonight and do a financial literacy presentation. With that being said, we're going to be doing a financial literacy workshop that's going to be coming up in partnership with Kaiser Permanente. We're going to be getting that information out to the community soon. And people are going to be able to sign up a way to come learn some of this financial literacy in depth in a 4-hour session, as well as provided lunch and pay stipends for our community folks. We want to make sure that our folks also get some funding, get some support while they're learning some of this great information. We know anytime we throw money behind learning, it seems to grab more attention and more information for folks. So we're excited about that. We're going to be putting that out to community very shortly. So please reach out to us through our website, reach out to us through our social media handles, where we'll be providing that information to community. If you would like to be a part of that financial literacy workshop, you can also email us at events@bsotc.org. Put your information, your phone number, email, and we'll reach out to you and get you signed up as well. With that being said, there's a number of tragedy that's been happening in our community, a number of loss. Please continue to keep our community families and leaders and folks in your prayers, as folks have been losing loved ones through a number of different tragic situations. And there's been a number here in the Bay Area as well. So right now, as we are transitioning, there's a lot of things that are happening. And just remember, folks are going through it. Support, uplift folks as we continue to push forward. And excuse me tonight, my allergies is all over the place. My nose is running, my throat is dry. I don't know. The good weather is here, and the wind is blowing, the pollen's in the air, and I'm being affected. So please excuse me if you hear me tonight a little different than normal. But yeah, with that being said, we are now transitioning into the spring weather. As you all know, we've moved forward. Our time is going to be out longer. Folks are getting back into the community. A lot of number of things are taking place this COVID pandemic is slowing down. The numbers are decreasing. I was on a number of meetings where the numbers are starting to drop tremendously in the community. So folks are starting to get back out and community and maneuvering and doing things that they used to do. But we also just want to remind folks, we're not out of the clear yet. The numbers are dropping. We still want folks to be safe, social distance, and be mindful that there's still COVID out there. There are still positive cases happening. And we just want to make sure that community stays safe. With that being said, both sides of the conversation, we still have a few more of the in-home rapid test kits. I put so many out in the community. If you are one of those families or folks who still need some COVID test kits, please reach out to us. You can put it in at info@bsotc, and we'll make sure that we'll get them out to your organization or to the community if you need. We still have some left. I mean, we can't take care of everybody, but we have some if you reach out to us to give you that support. Also, a number of things that's going to be taking place here at both sides of the conversation as we moving forward. As I said, due to the pandemic slowing down and things are getting normal, both sides of the conversation, we're going to be changing up our program a little bit, how we do things. Normally we do our 3 shows every week. We're going to be moving things around as we start getting back in the community with the folks. There's a big need for us to do some of the things that we're doing here in studio, out in the community. So you're going to see more live events out in the community. There's a number of partnerships and things that we're going to be working with in the community. So you are going to see a change in some of our programming. We'll be updating you as those changes come and take place. But there's a lot of changes coming, but we're going to be really strictly focused on our Black and Brown community, really finding new ways to connect as we are a part of the Dream Keeper initiative, changing that narrative. We're going to find a way to really engage with our community and community folks and have those conversations with folks out there in the street. So you'll see some changes, but we're going to be doing a lot more out in community. So there will be some programming changes with that. With that being said, just want to give a huge shout out to all of our both sides of the conversation team. As you all know, there is a number of both sides of the conversation folks who support us behind the scenes that do amazing things. And just want to say thank you to all the dedication and all the hard work to those folks. Yesterday we was awarded. Well, the award happened on the 4th, but I was out of town, my grandbaby's birthday. But we finally got our award from the Brown Bombers, and I'm excited. Because I was telling folks today in a meeting that 42 years of my life, I have never received an award from a Black male. Okay, I've received many awards, many accolades, many acknowledgments, and most of them have been from members of the community, but it's mostly been women or other cultures representing supporters. And I was honored to get the first award from a Black male from the Brown Bombers founder, Raymond Ross. So I want to give a huge shout out to the Brown Bombers founder and to all of the staff, family, and the young folks who appreciate the work that we do here at both sides of the conversation in the community, for them to acknowledge us. And I got my Brown Bomber shirts on, representing them because the Brown Bombers is a real pillar of D10, our community. And Rain has been working with the families and the youth through the football camps and through the football work, and just outside of that, being a blessing to our community. So we want to acknowledge the Brown Bombers, and we appreciate them acknowledging us and understanding the work that we do to help impact our community. And we just honored to receive that award from Rainin and the team over there. So thank you, Rainin, and to all the Brown Bombers out there. We appreciate it. It is an honor for me to say after 42 years, I received some acknowledgement from another brother. When we talk about changing the narrative and we talk about kings supporting kings and other brothers uplifting other brothers, it is an honor to get that type of support and acknowledgement for the community. As you all know, we grind for the people. We don't do this for funding. We don't do this for awards. We do this because we love our people, and we know there are things that we need in our community, and we're going to continue to do our part to make sure that we provide those resources, that awareness, that education, like tonight presenters, to our community, so that we get the same opportunities and information to move our community ahead. So thank you to them. With that being said, there's a number of meetings going on. So I know a lot of folks, we got Dream Keeper meetings going on. There's a number of redistricting meetings that is going on, and we're going to continue to push that information out to the community, as this redistricting process is very crucial and critical to the residents of San Francisco. So we're going to continue to update the community on where these meetings are, how to get involved. We want everybody to have their voices heard, and we want to make sure when they start drawing out these maps that our communities are represented. And we just want to say thank you to all the folks who've been grinding on the front lines to make sure that our community gets the information and a part of the conversation. So kudos to them. And there's a lot of other meetings going on. We got budgeting meetings going on as this is the critical time of the year where everybody's getting ready. There's a lot of RP and grant information coming out. So folks are running around busy all over the place. But again, tonight is very important as we continue to talk about our financial health and wealth in our community. And we're just excited for that. Let me get through a couple of community announcements and some of the things that's going on. And then we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our great presenters tonight. A number of incidents has been taking place over the country. Just yesterday, they had a newly released video showing the brother Edward Brostein, 38, who died in police custody in March 2020 after he continued to scream he couldn't breathe while being pinned down to the ground. His family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit, and that information is going around, and we'll keep you updated on that. Also, tragic news in Texas. A 13-year-old behind the wheel in Texas crashed and killed 9 people and left 2 other Southwest golfers critical injured. As you know, these type of incidents take place and happen. It's sad to hear it, to see this. We had another young incident with some young drivers today, and Mountain View had a deadly crash. We had some sideshows where cars got out of line and out of control and critically injured some folks. So again, to the community, drive safe when you're behind the wheel. Young folks, the young teenage driver, be mindful, take your time, and just be mindful that driving the car is a responsibility. One wrong turn, one thing you do wrong could take the life of so many people, and we just don't want that to happen. So just want to put that out there. Also to our community folks, as school is popping back up, I know spring break is coming up. Please be mindful when driving in the school areas that you reduce your speed down to 25 to 15 miles per hour, as so many folks have reached out to us saying it is still an issue of people driving fast through our schools during the beginning of school and at the end of school time let out. So community, do our part. Slow down when you're around the school. Be mindful of the kids crossing the streets. We know sometimes young folks are playing around. They're not really paying attention, running out into the intersection, and we don't want one of our young folks in the community injured or killed by someone speeding through the community. Also, as the temperatures increase, as you all know, we are reaching into the spring months. Water conservation here in California is going to be very critical. They have already been putting out information that the water supply this year is going to be very, very low and very impacted, especially as we approach fire season. So as community, we all have to work together in solidarity to make sure that we conserve water and do our part to make sure we hold on some of this water throughout the year as temperatures are going to increase as we start approaching the summer months. For some of the community events that's coming on, you all know every Saturday night, they're still having the live karaoke events at Cafe Envy, which is located at 1701 Yosemite Street. The doors open at 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. DJ Hyphy will be there, and they got food and drinks. If you want to go out and have a good time in the community, Cafe Envy is still going to be hosting the Saturday nights karaoke. Also, Saturday tonight, actually, they have in the community self-love gathering poetry, which is taking place now, and I think they're going to have a couple of other more segments. So that's going on. We'll be putting that information out to community, how to connect. Also, the Baby Hunters Point drop-in pediatric COVID-19 vaccination is happening at 1800 Oakdale, Fridays and Saturdays at 9:30 to 3 p.m. Please make sure that you go to our website. We'll put the information up, or you could go to our events to click on the information to make an appointment. Those are appointment only for community. So just wanted to put that out there as well. There's a number of other community events that's going to be coming in. We're going to be blasting them out on our social media as folks start dropping those in. If you have an event or a flyer that you would like our information for us to get out to the community, please use the both events at both sides of the conversation and submit all of those documents there, and we'll get it out to community for you. Also, our both sides of the conversation, Amazon Smile is still open. If you would like to support both sides of the conversation, you could do it through Amazon Smile. Every time you purchase something on Amazon, you could give a percentage of that purchase to both sides of the conversation. No extra cost to you, but every time you choose Both Sides of the Conversation as a charitable organization, those donations Amazon will put out to us. Please go to all of our social media handles, check out what's going on, as we have a lot of things coming up this future, and we're just excited about it. Also, our next upcoming live show will be this Tuesday, as we'll have another Hidden Gem segment where we will continue to highlight our Black and Brown businesses, as well as our community leaders and organizations that are doing positive things to impact our community. Our next Sunday conversation that we'll be having will be March 27th with Dr. Mo and a number of folks from Rafiki Coalition. We're going to be having a conversation, a very important conversation about suicide in our community. As you all have known, over these last several weeks, there has been an increase of teen suicide as well as adult suicide in our community. We're going to be talking about suicide, mental health. In that conversation, we'll be getting that information out to the community. We have a phenomenal panelists that's going to come on and talk about that. So we're excited about that. And then our Sunday conversations, again, we'll be doing the third Sundays, and then we'll be having some programming changing for our hidden gems, and we'll keep our educational Thursday, but we're going to be doing some stuff out in the community, again, because our Tuesday show is to highlight Black and Brown businesses, give them the support that they need, and we're going to change up some things, and we're going to be out in the community impacting those businesses and doing some things live. So there's going to be a few changes, but we ain't going nowhere. We were building. We are still looking for volunteers to support and help this mission and vision as we continue to build out both sides of the conversation and some of the things that we want to do in the future. So, we want to continue to push that information out there, and we got some things coming up. So we're excited, and we're just looking forward to what the future holds. And we're going to keep pushing through this, and we'll be there with you in the community. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring up tonight's guest. Enough of me. I've talked enough. I can't even get it out because my allergies is killing me. But I want to go ahead and get up tonight's guest. They're going to be talking about financial literacy. Again, great information for our community. Want to make sure that our folks know the steps and the things that they have to do, the processes to get to financial prosperity. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up Miss Cynthia and Sean, as they've been here before. We're going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to turn over our platform to them and let them run you all through this educational presentation, and we'll take questions at the end. Sean, Cynthia, it's all yours. Take over.
All right. Thank you. Hey, good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, to all the Irish out there. I got a little Irish in me. Not a whole lot, but just enough. But hey, happy to be here. John Henry, thank you so much for everything that you're doing, everything that your team does. Hey, we appreciate you. The community appreciates you. You may only have one award, but believe me, there are countless people that would give you their hearts because they know everything that you've done for them. They know everything you're pushing to do and the goals, the massive goals that you have for our Black and Brown communities. So we appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. My name is Sean Johnson. As John said, we've been here before. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. We want to be here tonight and just share some financial knowledge with you and just bring some awareness. Share some awareness and maybe even change your thought pattern a little bit about, hey, what have I been doing? What have I been thinking about doing? And what should I be doing to put myself in the best financial position that I can? So starting off, again, my name's Sean Johnson. I love helping people become financially wealthy. And it starts with knowledge, because there's a wealth of knowledge and the knowledge of wealth. But if we don't share it, then it's not out there. We can't benefit from it. Others can't benefit from it. So For me, it started off before I even realized it started off for me. My family has a cabin up in Tahoe, and it's not a big cabin. I don't share that to brag, but I share it because I always loved going up there. Even just a couple times I went up as a kid. And when my grandfather passed away back in day before I started high school, I remember asking my dad, like, well, shoot, Dad, what's going to happen with the cabin? And he said, don't worry, Gramps had something in place, so it would always be taken care of as soon as he passed away. I said, you know what? Okay, cool. And I went on about my business as a little freshman in high school. Didn't have a clue what was going on. Now, fast forward, I'm realizing, my goodness, my grandparents had a lot of forward thinking. They set things in place not just to enjoy for their lives, but to create that generational wealth. And some of that knowledge has been shared with the family, but not as much as I wish they had shared. But because they did that, that's allowed my family to go up there and have a great time, even through the COVID times. My lady and I got to go out there and shelter in place, and it's a place that generations to come will be able to go out there and have a great time, be able to enjoy something because my grandparents had that forethought to set up things for their family. And for me, I love giving back to the community. I want to give other people the opportunity to have a great story like this, to think about their finances, to actually have things planned out, to have a budget, to know what they want to do in the next 6 months, couple of years of their lives, and not be a slave to the system, not just go to work, show up, go home, come back, live for the weekend, and just hope that that next paycheck comes in for us. There's so much more we can do. And our goal is to go out there into our communities and help bring that bridge for the wealth gap that exists in this country these days. So again, my name is Sean Johnson. Thank you all for your time tonight. We certainly appreciate it. And I'm gonna hand it over to my business partner, Cynthia Yanakone.
Hi, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm just excited to be here. Thank you, John Henry. God, it's just been great the whole time, getting to know, see your growth and everything, and be able to support you, support us. It's just great, hand in hand. I just, starting a little bit about my story and why I started doing what I'm doing is because my dad in 2018 passed away. And when he passed away, he had no living trust in place, no life insurance. And my mom lost his pension plan. And he worked 46 stinky years at Kaiser. And for it to be all taken away, it's crazy. And the more that I do what I do, I talk to people and they've had similar experiences. So, and then my mom also lost her own 401k. So, I'm here to talk about and share my experience. And, my dad was just my inspiration. He continues to be. He's still so around me spiritually, always, showing me messages, helping me meet people. And like I said, John was one of them because my dad's name is John. So, I used to go see him at his senior center and stuff, surprise him. And, he always, gave me that family is so important and family is so important. And so there's pictures with me and my sister and him. And, my dad just was always there. And we've always were together and had different type of conversations. And one of the conversations he wanted to talk about when I was growing up and I didn't want to talk about was money. And now I know what I know. And now I understand maybe he wanted the help that nobody gave him. And because of this experience, I have income protection for myself and my family and my kids. Something I didn't think was important because when my mentor told me something like that, I said, for my kids, why my kids? But, God forbid that anything were to happen to my kids, what would I do? But not realizing that there's other strategies that my kids also would benefit from. And so and I just, too, my living trust has been done. And it's my mom's living trust was done. My sister's living trust was done. And, here I am also helping the community get their living trust done. And so it's just so inspiring for me to help the community because a lot of times people just don't know where to go and where to get the help that they need. So I'm just so excited to be here to share this information. And my son just he graduated last year, but he had his first year at San Francisco State, but he started his own retirement strategy plan. He has his own income protection, everything that he needs because he's a young boy and, I want him to be protected. And my other daughter who's there, she does what I do too. And she's, mom of two. So I'm also Mama Cynthia, a fabuela. And so I am so proud that I have my grandbabies and I've been able to help them start different strategies for their future, right? Because I want a good children's future for them. And I think it's really important for people to understand that because people want it. Sometimes they just don't know where to go. So again, I'm just really excited to be here to share the information I have. And one more thing that I have to share, and I'm like John Henry is just amazing because he has touched issues that are really hitting our community. And housing is one of them. So this year, just recently, I've been able to buy out my house from the city. And it's been a process, but, I'm in a different space and place. But I don't want what happened to me to happen to others, right? I want to change the narrative, like John Henry says. I want to be able to help people really be able to pass generational wealth to their families. And so just excited to be here. And of course, with Sean, who always helps me too. And we're just here and here together to show you and teach you, but learn as well as we speak and share what we have. So thanks. So one of the biggest mistakes we make in life is we think we have time, and everybody knows Kobe Bryant and what happened to him. I don't think, he thought that was going to happen to him when he got on that helicopter. And, many times we just don't realize, we think tomorrow. And it's been so amazing since I've been doing this. Like, I've had so many people reach out to me that, have lost a lot of loved ones. This year, I've lost a lot of loved ones, a lot of friends, families. I'm going to just share with you recently too. I'll say she's my friend because she's somebody really close to me, lost her husband, 42 years old. I had been in touch with the sister-in-law. She reached out to me. I helped her do a few things. Income protection was one of them. She told her brother to do it. And when her brother passed away and I talked to him, it's like, he kept saying he was so young, he had time, right? He had time. And he was 42 years. And now, this family's having to go through hard times. But, this is why it's important to realize, really, we need to plan. And we don't know how much time we really have here. So, just some thoughts to think about. And so in your financial journey, things to consider, I'd love for you guys to make this as interactive as possible. And I know Sean is going to keep going with that.
Cool. Yes, and please go ahead and put in the chat. If you have questions, we'll do our best to answer them as we're going through. If not, we'll certainly circle back and be able to get through with them, go through them with you at the end. But we really want y'all to kind of think about a couple of things. Like I said, we want to shift your mindset a little bit. Think a little bit differently about life, about your plans. Do you have those plans, right? So especially when it comes to our financial journey, if we think about where we want to be financially, are we where we thought we would be, where we want to be right now? If you gave yourself a grade, you look back, hey, well, how am I doing? Am I really doing as well as I thought I would be, should be, could be? And think about your beliefs from money. Where'd they come from? Did you hear that same old adage of, oh, money doesn't grow on trees? Or did you hear, oh no, that stuff's not for us? Well, guess what? One of the things that I heard from another lady that works at the nonprofit we've spoken at, she said, you know what? We need people in our communities to understand it is for me. It's for you too. It's for me. It's for us. We do deserve this information. We do deserve these tools and the success and everything that comes with being properly informed or properly educated. So what's your story? Where are your beliefs coming from when it comes to money? Next up, and maybe even write these things down for yourself or sit down and talk with your spouse about it and then give us a call and let's sit down and have a conversation. If you save the same amount of money in the next 5 years you've saved in the last 5 years, would you be okay with that? How much money do you have saved right now? Do you have enough saved that, hey, you know what, if my job lays me off, I'm good for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months? Or are we counting down to that paycheck tomorrow? Especially living in California, I understand it. It's not inexpensive to be here by any means, but are we doing what we can do to put ourselves in the most safe and protected position we can? And next, do you have your next 5 years planned out financially? How about your next 10 years, your retirement? When would be the best time for you to start if you don't? I know so many people think, oh, you know what, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Like Cynthia said, I'm young, I've got time, it's all good. Yeah, we'll connect later. We don't know when our last later will be, right? We don't know how much time we have. We don't know when our job's going to lay us off. We don't know when COVID's going to hit again or something similar. And we don't know when we're going to get called home. So the best time to start planning for our future, even if it's just as simple as writing out a budget on a white sheet of paper, that's all good. Start there. Start there. and we're here to work with you and show you how to do it. So please take some notes as we're chatting, and anything that resonates with you, let us know. We'd love to go a little bit deeper with you. Cynthia?
Yes. So it's really important, to know your options, right? And life, there's so many places where you can go, and you need to just figure out what needs to be done, right? So it's really important to talk and figure out these things. So the first one is income protection options, right? And so a lot of us, don't know like what could happen. There is a 75% chance that something can happen, is whether we get sick, whether we get in an accident, whether it's, whatever type of illness. We need to have that, because if we get sick, our bills don't stop. So we need to have some type of income protection. And there's, a lot of options in that too. So you just need to know about it. And then your retirement, right? There's like the 401k, the 403b, the 457, the IRAs, understanding those retirement options. How do they work for you? How may they work a little, against you? But, they're there, and they're just trying to figure out what works for you. So I think that's important, especially for a future, because retirement, I guess, at the same time, we always think it's stuck to a number, but retirement is really the time that you can do what you want to do and still afford to have a lifestyle that's going to be comfortable for you. But yeah, then it's the children's future. And like I said, I stand at my grandbabies really early on. I mean, I have my kids. They have also other strategies for them. So got to start young, because time and money are the two factors in creating wealth. And that's really important to know. But where we're putting that time and money is also important. And generational wealth, that's your estate planning, legacy planning. What do you want? How do you want to pass on everything that you had in this lifetime? Like I said, I have my living trust and things, but also in there you put everything, all your assets, all the things that you have. But how do you even start to build it to pass it on to generations? So I think that's really important as well. And we give access to products and providers that people normally wouldn't have access to on their own, or don't know any that even exist. So I'm so glad to be here to share this with you.
Right on.
So most people are financially literate. Why? Because they don't teach this in school. They don't teach it in high school, near middle school, and not even in the university. So how, financial literacy is so important, and this is why we need it, because money habits are created early on, right? And statistic-wise, only 40% of U.S. adults keep a budget and track their spending. 76% of American families say they live paycheck to paycheck. And, those are just a couple statistics, but it's just really important. I feel like also, financial literacy, and it starts in the home, but it needs to get more than that. And I feel like you have to have the right information to be able to share. So again, financial literacy and having that knowledge makes you figure out, where are you spending? Where can you save? And create a bigger, better plan for yourself, for the future, and your family.
And that's absolutely right, Cynthia. And we really want to be here. Our goal of being here and sharing with y'all tonight, and the other times we've been here, is to take some time and sit down and have that intimate conversation with you. Sit down and go over what your options are. Make sure you know them. Make sure you understand them. Make sure you're implementing them with education and doing it correctly. So many people have plans in place that they think are going to help them get to their goals, but a lot of times they won't. A lot of times people don't understand what the plan is that they have, because it was just sold to them. It was a Me Too plan. It was something that somebody else got or told them to get just because it was a good thing. So what we want to do tonight is we're going to want to give you an overview of some of the areas that we can help you out with. But hey, we really want to take that time to connect with you as individuals and go through the areas that are going to be most important for you. So first off, when it comes to the income protection options, well, what does that really mean? Well, let me ask you, what happens if, God forbid, you're driving home from wherever, from work, just running to the store to get some more coffee like I did yesterday, and you don't make it home? What happens to your family? What happens to your household? What happens to the bills that were dependent upon by your income? Do you have something in place for that? How many people have a couple 100,000, a few 100,000 hanging out just in case they get COVID, just in case they break a hip and can't go to work or whatever? There's plans you can get that will protect you for that. Plans that will take care of you for, hey, if you have a critical illness, a chronic illness, or a terminal illness, or God forbid you pass away. We don't know when that time's going to come, but we know it's going to come for all of us. Right? We know it's going to come for each and every one of us. But what we don't plan for, we really don't plan for that, those critical illnesses, a heart attack, cancer, organ transplant, a chronic illness. We need help getting up, going to the bathroom, putting clothes on. Or hey, God forbid, we're diagnosed with a terminal illness. Just in the last month, I've had 3 people that I need to help out with a couple of these here. Thank God they had sat down and they put a plan in place. They still have their illness to deal with, their injury to deal with. But guess what? It's not going to be a financial burden to them and their family at this point. And that's at least one huge layer that's lifted off. Now, John Henry mentioned mental health. And I'm glad that that's been out and been in conversations a lot more lately than it ever has before. And a lot of times our mental health comes from our finances not being stable. You think about how many times we get in arguments at home. How many times is it over money? When we're stressed out over something, how many times is it over money? When we need that relief, that release, that get out and take a vacation, but we can't because we need the money to do it. Finances, I don't want to say they control our lives, but they can really govern them. So it's critical that we sit down and we have a plan for our finances so that we can live that life we deserve to live. The next point is going to be retirement options. And when it comes to retirement, we've realized that the necessity, almost the burden of retirement, it's been removed from the employers and has been placed squarely on the shoulders of the employees, without the knowledge, without the know-how, without the training or information to know how to properly do it. So we want to sit down and share with people, hey, like, what are you using for your retirement options? Okay. Are you out there? Does your company offer a pension plan? Pension plans have become so rare lately that we'll sit down with some people who don't even know what it is because companies just don't offer them anymore. Mm-hmm. Are you planning on Social Security? I'm not young, but I'm still not planning on my $8.34 I might get from Social Security. I'm pretty sure my parents are using the last bit of that up. And then a lot of us, myself included, I had one before. I had a 401k plan. Not saying it's the worst thing in the world. It's great to have some sort of savings. But you know what? It's a plan that kind of everybody gets. It's one of those default plans, right? Everybody gets one. But how many people understand how it works? How many people know that, hey, I can use this plan and I can use it to retire off of? Would you rather your retirement be a default retirement or one you've actually designed and have a strong understanding of how it's going to function? Because like Cynthia was saying, retirement's not an age. It's an amount of money that allows you to live your lifestyle the way you want to, the way you deserve to, the way you've been working your whole life to. So really think about that. What do you have in place for your retirement? Do you understand what you have? And whatever plan it is you're using, do you really have a solid understanding of how it works? Shoot, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well would you rate your understanding of whatever plan it is you have for retirement right now? And last thing here, it is never too young to start. People think, oh, I'm in my 20s. It's all good. I don't need to worry about it. Well, then they hit their 30s. And I still got time. Oh, I'm in my 40s. Maybe I should think about it. And in their 50s, they want to try and save a couple $100s a month and retire at 60, 65. And it just won't work. It just won't work. So the sooner we can start doing this, the better off we are. And next area is going to be children's future and creating generational wealth. And we want to group these together tonight because they're both future long-term planning plans, right? When we set our children up, a lot of times we're thinking about, hey, when we have kids, what's the first thing everybody tells you? You've got to start saving for blank. What is it? You've got to get a blank plan going. That college plan, right? You got to save for college. Well, ask you another question. When it comes to life really getting real, Does life get real as we enter into college or when we come out? Is that when we're kicked out and, hey, you're really an adult now, good luck, make it work? Let's set our kids up so that they can be successful in life. It's a future plan, it's a life plan, not just something for college. And then when it comes to generational wealth, guess what? Like Cynthia was saying, you can build it or you can buy it. We show people how to do both. Either way, it's planned out. It's something that we know we can make work to actually pass things on to our families. Now, if we look at a couple different ways that people save and the things we want to gain out of our savings. So number one, growth potential. We obviously, money we're saving someplace, we want it to grow for us. I don't know about y'all, but I like to know I have some security. Yes, I'll do something that's risky, but I like to have some solid foundation that I know I can count on. I don't want to be limited as to how much money I can save someplace. I want to put in as much as God blesses me to be able to. I don't want to pay more than my fair share of taxes. And if I'm saving for my children, I certainly don't want it to have any financial aid impact. I want them to be able to get whatever assistance they can, right? I'm paying my taxes. And then I want to access that money for whatever it is I want or my children want or need for that matter. But I also want to be able to leave a legacy, just like my grandparents did. I want to leave a legacy for my family. I want my family to see the picture of me and my lady up there over the mantle and be like, hey, you know what? They set us up. They did good for us. Not the, I wish grandma and grandpa had done better. So when we look at a couple places, hey, if we put our money in the bank, and especially thinking about saving for our children, is there growth potential in the bank? Straight up, no. And if you don't know, take a look. Call your bank and ask them what type of rate of return you're receiving. Ask your bank what your interest rate is on your checking account, your savings account. Is there an investment risk with the bank? No, for the most part, no. So is that something that we can check off? Yes, we can check off that there's no investment risk here. Can we check off that there's no contribution limits? Correct. You can put as much money in the bank as you want. Is it tax-free? Nope. If you actually make money in the bank, you're paying taxes on it. Would financial financial aid? Can't check that off. It's going to impact financial aid. Can you access the money in the bank for anything? Yeah, we get a check mark there. You can. Can you leave a legacy with that? Not really. Not really. It's not going to go to enough and probate and everything else, right? Another very common plan that people use saving for their children, 529s. Is there growth potential in there? Check. Yes. Is there an investment risk? Not really. You can still lose money there. Are there contribution limits? Can't check that off. There are. You're limited as to how much you can put into them. Is it tax-free? Yes. Asterisk. If you use it for college. If your children don't go to college and they don't need it for college, guess what? You pull that money out and don't use it for college expenses, you're getting penalized, taxed, and everything else. No financial aid impact, access money for anything, leave a legacy? Nope, nope, nope. We want you to be aware of whatever the plans are you're using. And we show people how to set up a life plan for their children, a legacy plan. Do you have growth potential? Yes. Can we check off that there's no investment risk? Yes, we can show you how to have that solid plan without that investment risk. Do you have contribution limits? Nope, no contribution limits. Bam, we can check that one off too. Can we show you how to get that tax-free growth? Yes, we can. Can we show you how to get a plan that does not impact your financial aid? Yes, we can. Can we get you a plan that you can access for anything? Yes, we can. If your children are 18 years old and don't want to go to college, or they've got the YouTube channel at 14, already making 6 figures a year, and don't need to go to college, what happens to all the money you saved? Well, it depends what plan you have it in. And can you set this up to leave a legacy? Yes, you can. One of the books, What Would the Rockefellers Do? Check that one out. Talks about how they've set up that legacy from the time children are born. There's so much power in knowledge if we apply it. So we want to make sure, again, that people have understanding of the plans that are out there and of the plans that they're using. Now, when it comes to our retirement plans, there's a thing called tax deferral, which a lot of times people think, we say, oh, I don't have to pay my taxes yet. I'll do it later. Later, the perfect time to do anything. What really happens with that? So think about it. You've got limitations and rules within those tax deferred plans, like the 401ks, 403bs, right? The 457s. So before you're 59 and a half years old, you get penalized if you touch your money early. And then you still have to pay state and federal taxes. You can give up 40 to 50% of your money. You're 65 years old, around retirement age, no penalty. But think about taxes and everything going on in the world right now. Our taxes are going to be lower or higher when we retire. They're likely to be higher. And here's a bonus. Are we going to have the deductions and write-offs when we retire that we have right now? The house is going to be paid off. The kids sure as heck better not be at home anymore. So guess what? Our taxable income is going to bounce up. Taxes are going to have to go up. So state tax goes up, federal tax goes up. No penalty, but hey, 40, 50% of our money we'd still give back. And then you're also forced in most plans to take your money out when you hit a certain age, like 72. Well, guess what? If you don't take your money out, they can force you to. They can penalize you for not taking your money out. And then guess what? We still have to pay our taxes. And who knows how much those are going to be. So we give up 50 to 70% of our money. Understand, take the time to get the knowledge of the plans that you're using. Please, please. Look it up, call somebody, ask. Let's get knowledge, let's get a good understanding, a grip on what it is we're doing so we can actually reach our goals. And take a quick picture of this if you can. Financial literacy. Actually, you know what, Cynthia, go ahead and take this one for me.
So it's really important to understand, like we're talking all about financial literacy, and there's also financial education, right? So I wanted to specify the difference of financial literacy and financial education, right? So financial literacy, listen, it's the ability to know how to manage your financial resources. Basic financial literacy helps people to become self-sufficient and achieve financial stability, where financial education is the ability to understand how financial resources work. It refers to the technique of investing and managing financial resource and the skill to make good financial decisions. Employees tend to be more productive and suffer less from financial stress. Financial education can be a reality check that encourages savings. And one of my biggest mentors, greatest mentors, quoted this: education without implementation is only information. And it's so true. You know, we get all this information. We're inundated with so much information. But what if we don't put something into action or do something different? We're going to be in the same place that we were. So it's so important to take that action and implement certain things that we are learning.
Absolutely. And it's just like that. The knowledge is not power unless it's implied. If we don't share the knowledge and we don't apply the knowledge, what good is it? What good? You can read 100 books, but if you never actually implement what you learned from the book in your life, it's just in your head. It's just in our heads. We want it to be in our lives. We want to enjoy that success and that knowledge. Now, think about this. I know a lot of people know Prince or know who he is. A lot of times, going back to it is for me. It is for you. We think people that are well off, that are successful, they've got everything in place. Apparently, Prince did not. This is an older article, but last time I looked last year, his family still had his house set up as a museum because of the millions of dollars in lawyer fees that they're going through fighting over everything. So the family can actually get the money that would be rightfully theirs. Get stuff in place. I don't care if we're passing on millions or something that we think is a little shack. It's yours. You worked for it. Your family deserves to keep it. Why should it just go away? Let's make sure we've got the right plans in place. And then the Black Panther himself, massively wealthy, don't know who got to keep it. Didn't have all the right plans in place. Let's make sure that we're not adding to these stories. Let's make sure we're adding to the stories of success and actually having things work out well for us and our families moving forward. So, in closing today, everybody, I'm going to ask you a couple more quick questions. But when was the last time you did a medical health check? When was the last time you went to the doctors? Checked out the insides? I know some people say, I've been a doctor in 5-6 years. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm good. A lot of stuff can change in 5 or 6 years, right? We probably want to get that checked out. And we've got things in place for it. And most of us will get our health checked out. But then the second question is, when was the last time you did a financial health check? When was the last time you sat down with a professional and actually went through and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I bring in. This is where it goes out to. This is what I have left. This is where I put it. Here's where I'm saving for this. Here's where I'm saving for that. I do have a budget. I don't have a budget. I understand this plan. I don't understand that plan. When was the last time you went through and did all that? It's something I know we all need to do, but we don't do it often enough. So that's why we're here. We want to have that conversation with you. So what we do for our clients is our next steps. It's a complimentary sit down. All the companies we work with, they're going to take care of us. We want to take care of you. We want to connect with you. What we do is we send our clients a personal financial review. It's only one page. It's short. It's sweet. It's simple to fill out. And what that does is it helps us determine, hey, where are you at? What are you working with? What are your goals? Help you get some goals. Help you get your financial independence number so you can retire when you want to. Make sure you have the proper protection in place so that your family is not financially strapped if you get sick, injured, or pass away. Make sure you've got enough income coming in so that you can reach all your goals. So that's what we want to do. Cynthia, anything you'd like to add here?
Well, no, I just like your financial independence needs number is so important. All the times that I meet with people and just share that number with them, it's so eye-opening. Nobody's ever told them. Nobody's ever sat down and shared that. But it's really a way to also help you focus on your goals in finances. So now it's a complimentary. So if I were you, just take advantage of this opportunity.
Yep. And we take care of people from A to Z, making sure they're good with their finances, be it a short-term, long-term, anything in between. We're going to help you out and we're going to educate you in the process. We're not just going to say, hey, do this just because we said so, because that's why so many people are in the position we're in. And then, hey, maybe you've been thinking about a new career. Maybe you've been thinking about making a couple extra dollars, maybe an extra couple $1,000s on the side. Guess what? We're also looking for a few more key people that we can train and develop and mentor and lead up to help us go out there and help us achieve our crusade, to go out there into our communities, to have that impact, to make a difference and make sure that other people are financially secure. So here's a last little bit of thank you from us. Okay. Reach out to us, give us a call, send an email, carrier pigeon, whatever it is. We appreciate your time. We're glad that you were on. Share this with a friend. Who do you know that might need to sit down and have a financial conversation? Who do you know that might want to make a couple extra dollars helping out their community, sharing critical information with people they love and care about? So thank you again, John Henry. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Anything you'd like, any questions you have, hey, I'm always open to have a conversation with you.
Man, I just want to say thank you. It's always great to be in space with you and Cynthia. You always come in here and really get our folks excited. But when you talk about when was the last time they got a health check? I don't know, Sean. We've been in COVID. A lot of people haven't been going to get their checkup. But hopefully on the financial end, we could get more people activated. I mean, this is the purpose of tonight's presentation as we continue to try to energize our community and put the action forward to really making sure that we are making the right financial decisions to impact our family dynamics, but also our community. Because I think the more folks in the community that becomes more financially aware, we'll bring that economical power to our community when you're talking about owning businesses, homeownership, and congratulations, Cynthia, for paying off your house. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. When you go get the right education, you learn how to save, you learn how to invest, these opportunities that sometimes we think are so far away becomes right present in our face. So again, what a way to take leadership steps and get information from folks who are actually doing it, right? Because it's one thing for people to tell you how to save money, how to invest, and they have no way to show you how to move forward. Cynthia just paid off her house, and we are going to have a conversation about the housing crisis that is taking place not only in San Francisco, but across these United States of America. And again, as you all see, the feds are increasing the interest rates. These interest rate hikes are going to be happening all throughout the year. Our folks are going to be impacted the most when it comes to home ownership, car loans, credit card debt. And, these conversations and the opportunity to meet with Cynthia and Sean to put a plan together to make sure that you avoid the financial ruin that's going to impact some folks because those minimum payments will be increasing. The way to leverage credit. You want to learn how to really maneuver and get those great interest rates that Sean are talking about. And these investors, they are shaking their hands together like they're getting ready to eat lobster and steak, because they know if they can get them interest rates back up high enough, their investments, these billionaires will be putting into the economy, will definitely bring profits back to them. But also the increase of these interest rates will hopefully bring down some of the inflation, because right now we have a financial crisis and a lot of the Black and brown communities are being impacted. I went to Costco's the other day and the $2 package of water was $8.99. Okay. The cost of food in this country is going up due to this inflation. The cost of gas, the cost of everything that we are consuming is going up in an increase. And we have to continue to educate our people and know how to maneuver, how to invest so that they can get the most out of the bang for their bucks and for the money. Discretionary funds are getting loose and getting tight for a lot of folks in our community. So just want to let community know there is an answer. Reach out to Sean, reach out to Cynthia. Again, we're going to be doing a financial literacy program. We're going to actually pay folks to come learn some more in-depth information and provide lunch coming up. Sean and Cynthia will be there. We'll have some other financial folks that's going to be a part of it. So again, more opportunities for you to learn. It's not an excuse anymore. It's nothing to be ashamed of. There's an opportunity to change the paradigm, the narrative of your financial future with some of this information that we're going to be helping folks in the community. So we're looking forward to that. Again, amazing presentation. You all do a phenomenal job of keeping it where our folks can get it and understand. And I know when they reach out to you as you go through the process to get the in-depth information, because we know our folks are not doing so good in the financial realm. And as the inflation increases, a lot of our folks will do desperate things to provide the day-to-day needs in their families. And sometimes those decisions impacts the families. As money get tight, job market, sometimes folks will use credit cards and different things to try to meet the day-to-day needs for their household families. But those decisions sometimes put us in financial ruin as well. So Sean and Cynthia, always thank you. You always come on and do an amazing job for community. And again, we're going to keep pushing your information out. Looking forward to putting together our financial workshop with a couple of other financial coaches to really bring this topic of financial literacy, education, empowerment, because we really empower our community with information. And we want to make sure that they learn and we actually change the narrative of our community and the paradigm of what we do with our finances and how we bring back that financial excellence in our community. With that being said, if you all have anything, because tonight you all covered what we need. You heard Sean talking about the retirement packages. We got to get our folks investing more in their retirement. Too many folks are, retiring and not having enough cash, and things are falling over here. But, we have to make sure that our folks are investing right. And I just appreciate that information, you all getting that out to them and making sure that they understand how important it is to invest and make sure they had the right thing. So very, very important information.
Thank you, John. I just look forward to participating in that workshop that you're talking about. And of course, just helping the community figure things out. Because, in the beginning, it's just like we're all lost, kind of trying to figure out where to go. And I really want to express or stress or let people know what's most important is that we are from the community. We've been through it. We've done things, what we had to do to get where we need to go. But to me, the most important thing is trust. And I think that, being from the community, that just speaks a lot. I mean, I'm just talking from my own experience, and it's so important to work with people who look like me or that are, having the same struggles, but have the knowledge that, that are helping me and helping the community. Because I always think you got to help yourself first in order to help others. And that's why I do what I do. I share with my family. I share with the community, because I think it's so important to get to your next level and whatever that may be. So thanks again for this wonderful opportunity, John.
And thank you, Cynthia, because y'all have to understand, Cynthia is not just in these digital streets. She be in the community. And, we just want to say thank you, Cynthia, because you always at community events. You always support the community, and want to say thank you. You brought your nephew out to our bowling event. We had a great time. And just
Yes,
want to
that was
appreciate it. I
amazing.
know it was a lot going on that day. A lot of people called me. Yeah, I was trying to talk to you. And when we got events and things going on, it's hard to reach to everybody. And I did get a second to speak with you. And I know some people, I can't do everything, but I appreciate you, supporting not only both sides of the conversation, but supporting the folks through the mission, through D10 and throughout the city, and, making sure that we have this information. So just want to say thank you again for your leadership and your courageousness to have these difficult conversations about money, because we know when we talk about money, everybody get funny.
That's right. That's right.
And
Yeah.
my computer is just dropping on me everywhere.
No way, John. Thank you again. Definitely. I mean, the biggest thing is, I've ever since the first time we came on here, I've been telling people it's about having that conversation. Too many of us are afraid to have those awkward conversations about anything in life. And the more conversations we have, especially in our communities, the more we're going to see that change. The more we come together to lift each other up, and we're actually thinking about what we're doing. Right? I heard a great quote the other day. I know I heard it before, but it finally clicked. Like, how much of your financial future depends on things you can't control or can't predict? What are we doing? How many of us are hoping that our future works out? That's not that's not the way it works. Look, our parents, our grandparents had plans in place because the system that they were a part of worked for them, right? They knew what that was and they could plan for it. We're seeing that system crumble, but we're not moving fast enough. We're not reacting fast enough to put ourselves in a position to win again. So that's everybody's call to action. That's the call to action, is to make the moves, make the adjustment, because, hey, look, we've got the knowledge. I mean, shoot, it's all sitting right here. The knowledge exists. We just need to go through there and, like we said several times, go out there and implement it. So thank you for being such a strong voice in the communities to help lift us up and get us to where we deserve to be, bro.
Man, no problem. Thank you all, man. A very, it's a very part of, bringing unity into the community. So, I just appreciate you all giving up your time and coming on and blessing the community with this information. So, just want to say thank you again, man. And looking forward to working with you all on this upcoming workshop and some of the other future projects that we have coming on. Just excited. So, thank you all again. So, with that being said, my computer keeps dropping around. I don't know what's going on. My computer's dropping all around on me. Just want to say to the community, thanks for tuning in tonight. Our next live show will be next Tuesday for our Hidden Gem segment. And then we'll follow that up with another Educational Thursday next week. And then we'll be stepping into our Sunday conversation on the 27th, talking about suicide and how the effects of suicide has been impacting the Black and Brown community during and after this pandemic. And, it's going to be a great conversation with the Rafiki Coalition and a number of other community partners. And, want to just say our condolences out to the SF Rebels, as 2 of their members of that organization had committed suicide. And, we just want to continue to uplift those families in spirit. A lot of work we have to do when we talk about mental health. A lot of work we have to do when we talk about Black health, brown health, and when we talk about financial literacy, how to empower our community. It's going to be some great conversations coming up. We'll be revamping, things will be changing, but we'll still be here to have a conversation. So thank you all for continuing to support us. I want to give a huge shout out again to the Brown Bombers, phenomenal organization, 20 plus years in the community, impact our families. And we're just excited and thankful for the acknowledgement. And we want to continue to empower our community. We're going to work together. We're going to find there. I've been on a number of calls. Folks are really trying to get together to move our communities forward in action, not just complaining, but in action. And that's what I like to see. A lot of times it's so easy to complain about what's wrong and how we're being attacked and how we're being affected. And it's just nice to see folks now pivoting into the action part, putting planning and things in place to really go after the equity that we need in our community and putting things in place so folks have to follow. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in to this segment of Educational Thursday, Financial Literacy segment. Hope you were all able to get the information tonight. Go back to our YouTube, replay it. If you missed something, reach out to Sean, as their information and context is on the screen. And we'll continue to make sure that you all are connected as we continue to bring money into our community to hold on and pass on to the generations behind us to come. So thank you all for tuning in. Have a blessed evening. We'll see you all. Stay safe out there. Continue to do your part, and we will here at both sides of the conversation. Have a blessed evening, everyone.